Chapter 9. Well, thank you for coming to my presentation. It seems strange to be speaking in English, but this is largely for the internet. And real-time translation, even in 2048, is best starting from English. I want to give my thanks to Tim and Kraus, my partner in Berlin, who organized this event and assembled such a large audience. I hope I can meet the expectations that have been building up for the 30 years that I've been working on this problem. You might know my work from dozens of articles I've written in magazines and on the internet. First on the sulfur fix as a young activist, which has bought us a couple of decades. And in the last few years on the geoengineering efforts of the Green Armies. My talk today is in two parts. For the first half, I'll summarize the efforts of Green Army 1 through 4, and in the second half, I'll make my proposal for what some people are calling Green Army 5.0. I think of it as Green Action 5.0. The thing that we all need to remember is that we are all at heart truly on the same side. The Green Armies are not and should not be at war with each other. We all have the same goals, a healthier, happier planet. More human beings with clean water, good food, sustainable energy. We share the same philosophy. We're all trying to build a green, sustainable city on the hill, so to speak, that can serve as a model for the world. We simply disagree on the best blueprints, the technical details. The era in which any particular Green Army was founded has come to define both its technology and its thinking to an extent. When Green Army 1.0 sometimes referred to as the primitives, it began. Solar electricity cost 3 cents a kilowatt. The most advanced saltwater purification technology at the time was a graphene desalinator. It simply was not very efficient or feasible to desalinate massive amounts of seawater at that time due to these restrictions. My friend Grant flew in from Algeria to help with this presentation. The main point he made was everything changed when solar went to a penny kilowatt, a penny terawatt. We thought everything changed when solar went to a penny kilowatt in 2020. We thought everything changed when solar went to a penny a megawatt in 2028. We thought everything changed when solar went to a penny a gigawatt in 2040. Now it's terawatts, and it has all changed. And there's lots of talk about free energy and a new technology that takes electricity out of the air. All of this is leading to a revolution, a confluence of green technologies and practice that are leading to entirely new ways of being on planet Earth. The deserts from Australia to New Mexico to Africa are turning into vibrant green jungles fed by desalinated water piped in from the ocean. Thriving communities of artisans and food growers operating locally but connected globally are blooming in these villages of micro homes with zero carbon footprint. The fossil fuel industry, like any entrenched corporate interest, is resisting, loving smear campaigns, disinformation, purchasing all of the media, manipulate public opinion, and bribe manipulate public officials. Money can buy. But guess what? They are still losing. In fact, they have taken a page from the books of the great green armies. They are installing plastic pipe now and inflatable desalination domes in their own backyards because they know that our technologies and ideas work, even if they can't admit it. Make no mistake, the green armies, they will never lift a gun or a sword, are taking over the world. But let me begin at the beginning. The summer of 2018, when Green Army 1.0 was coalescing, a bottom-up organization with no leaders on the top or to issue orders. They assembled spontaneously in several desert regions of the world. In Mexico, India, and Australia, they ran pipes under the desert ground to bring seawater inland. In Arizona, Mongolia, and Spain, they were mired in bureaucracy and turned to atmospheric condensation instead. Ultimately, the idea was the same: to bring water to the desert. A big disagreement between the first two Green Armies arose, which was the practicality and ethics of bringing salt water into the desert. If a large amount of seawater were brought to poor people, say villages in India, and their desalination mechanisms were for some reason malfunctioning, or they implemented them incorrectly, there could be a catastrophic contamination of existing freshwater reserves. Green Army 2.0 protested due to the potential damage that could be done, like a violation of an environmental Hippocratic oath, do no equal harm. One of the founding notions of Green Army 1.0 was that evaporation ponds should be built as fast as possible. So those first years saw many volunteers with fire hoses emptying seawater into hastily constructed ponds. Well, there's evidence that the global oceans might have lowered by a millimeter or two. This plan was for decades considered a failure. No one knew what to do with the salt, and the water vapor didn't cause rainfall in the desert, which they were hoping for, but it was blamed for flooding far away. It was only this year that a volunteer from France called Jason Leclerc brought a refinery in Algeria to profitability. He didn't do it by extracting lithium from the salt, which they hoped would be possible, not by extracting nitrogen fertilizer, which they thought would work, but by developing a molten sea salt technology that is excellent for thermal solar. The monumental impact of molten sea salt solar technology cannot be understated. A trend started by the Koreans. This technology was the paradigm shift, the quantum leap that broke renewable energy storage out of quagmire of traditionally electrochemical batteries. By storing energy in the form of solar heated liquid salts, the need for rare, expensive, dangerous, and polluting chemicals like lithium became moot. Salt itself, like that in any shaker in the restaurant, wasn't needed to store the energy at an astonishingly efficient rate. The 600-degree molten salt drops but a single degree in temperature each day. And ultimately, if the power plant ever were to spring a leak or need to be and ultimately, if the power plant ever were to spring a leak or need to be decommissioned, the sodium and potassium nitrates could be used as fertilizer. Molten sea salt soda was a truly ingenious and world-changing breakthrough. So Green Army 2.0 was largely a reaction to the failures of Green Army 1.0. No longer was salt water pumped inland across the thirsty villages and parched crops, but huge solar rays desalinated seawater on the coast and sent inland to the grateful human farmers and drinkers of clean water. No longer was water evaporated in hastily constructed situated ponds, but in carefully located reservoirs in South Sudan. Not only did they succeed in causing rain, but that dry country was successful in extracting lithium and nitrogen fertilizers as well. Failure for 2.0 might lie in their incomplete boring project on the Sahara Desert, but the jury is still out on this ambitious plan. It was in fact the grandfather of Green Army 2.0's leader, Elon Musk, who had the visionary idea of using tunneling technology. Musk saw the veins of civilization as not limited to streets, highways, subways, and sky trains, but as a fundamentally three-dimensional network going underground that could solve the traffic congestion issues hindering cities. And it was his boring company that price per meter Musk and his grandchildren managed to drastically reduce, that could lead to the next breakthroughs, the current and future Green Armies. I went out with a guy called Kurt who was in charge of the Indijima end of the Alexandria Indijima tunnel that has been bored. He let me stand at the end and feel the cool air. It was refreshing even after traveling hundreds of miles under the desert. Condensation plays a big role in the desalination technology they are spreading down the line, and cool seawater is big in condensation. But that's all I know. Don't know what they're up to. Green Army 3.0 is easier to understand. Is based in Dubai and amongst other amazing technologies, amongst other amazing technical achievements. They have a mature graphene technology for desalination seawater. They even have a hose that takes in seawater at one end and sprays up fresh water at the other. If the shortcomings of the Green Armies is a failure to deal with the sheer vastness of the Sahara and all the dry regions of the world, then Green Army 3.0 is guilty of that too. While the tiny nations of Dubai is cleaning up nicely, the technology has yet to reach across borders of the world. The Third Green Army, unlike its predecessors, is led by a native of the desert, a reclusive billionaire philanthropist from Dubai called Rajiv. The First Green Army, a plucky group of brave souls in the frontier of desert reforestation, employed a primitive form of condensation to distill fresh water. They turned the corner on peak carbon from 430 down to down to 415. The Second Green Army, slightly more sophisticated reverse osmosis technology, and brought ppm 415 to 400. And finally, with breakthroughs in graphene desalination technology, Green Army 3.0 at least have the golden number 350 in their sights. Scientists agree virtually unanimously 350 is the safe upper limit for carbon dioxide to prevent global runaway climate change. To prevent global runaway climate catastrophe. The Green Armies for decades have been fighting a war of environmental attrition against the only enemy we've ever truly had to fear, ourselves. The Green Army's war is one of human nature, of apathy, convenience, and selfishness, leading toward self-destruction against empathy, mindfulness, and community. And now we can win. We will just win. We must win for the sake of our children, our grandchildren, and all generations to come.